Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our TLC unit today, and we're talking about this one fella by the name of Andrew Zimmern. Andrew Zimmern. Have you heard of this guy before?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've watched this show a lot. It's been on for years. I think it's been on at least all the years I've been here in Taiwan, which is, I think, coming on 11 years. Yeah, he's a bald fellow, and he travels around the world and tries to eat the weirdest, strangest stuff he can. I remember when he did the Taiwan show, I couldn't believe that he thought that chou tofu was so bad,
Wow.
because he's been known to eat hearts that aren't cooked, out of animals and all sorts of gross things. Chou tofu is not that bad. I mean, it smells bad, but it doesn't taste that bad.
Well, I'm not a big fan of chou tofu, but yeah, it is kind of surprising that this guy who specializes in eating bizarre foods would say chou tofu is bad. But in any case, we're going back to America now with Andrew Zimmern. We're tasting America. I guess he's traveling around to different parts of the United States to find some bizarre and strange foods to sample and introduce us to on his TV show. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson right now.
No one has a taste for the bizarre quite like Andrew Zimmern. Having traveled the world for more than 10 years in search of the strangest foods humans dare to eat, Zimmern is now on the hunt back home in the U.S. On TLC's Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern Season 10, Zimmern explores American cuisine on some of the country's most iconic routes, including parts of Route 66 and Texas's Chisholm Trail. On one episode, Zimmern makes his way from star-studded Palm Springs, California, to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Nevada. His culinary journey begins at Melvin's, a legendary Palm Springs supper club once frequented by the American singer Frank Sinatra. Melvin's offers tableside service, in which a chef prepares your meal right next to you. On the menu, Zimmern finds classic European-style dishes, rarely served in restaurants these days. He tries Steak Diane, a favorite of the Hollywood actor James Dean, featuring pan-fried beef steak cooked with butter, shallots, mustard, parsley, and pepper, and accompanied by assorted vegetables, roasted mushrooms, and a tomato topped with blue cheese. Making his way out of Palm Springs, Zimmern begins the lengthy drive across the Mojave Desert to Las Vegas. Cruising along Highway 247, Zimmern makes a pit stop at Cafe 247 for some barbecued ribs and a banana milkshake before moving on to Peggy Sue's 50s Diner for a heavenly slice of strawberry rhubarb pie. Zimmern then makes his way across a long stretch of barren desert, finally reaching Las Vegas. He's not headed for the Vegas Strip, the famed road lined with world-famous resorts and casinos, however. He's on his way to Abu-Ria Raku, a hidden Japanese izakaya restaurant. Zimmern's in search of its delicious poached egg and sea urchin appetizer, crispy pork ear, and fried ice fish, or, as he calls them, fries with eyes.
All right, everybody, the time has come for us to discuss the contents of today's lesson. So here we go. The title of our article for today is Tasting America with Andrew Zimmern. Okay, this is one of the famous chefs on TV that we often see. There are lots of others like Jamie Oliver and some other people who always seem to be on TV introducing us to various ways to cook food. But Andrew Zimmern kind of travels around the world and samples the food that is already there. In this particular program, he's concentrating on the U.S. of A., the United States of America, and he's tasting America on this TV show. Now, no one has a taste for the bizarre quite like Andrew Zimmern. We do say if you have a taste for something, that means you like something. It can refer to food, yes, but it could also refer to other things. I have a taste for the finer things in life. I have a taste for classical music. I really like it and stuff like that. But here, he just enjoys bizarre food. Bizarre just means strange and unusual.
I can testify to that. He likes really crazy stuff. He's very brave. I wouldn't have tried even 10% of the stuff he's eaten that I've seen on TV. Now, having traveled the world for more than 10 years in search of the strangest foods humans dare to eat, he's back home now. He's on the hunt. If you're on the hunt for something, guys, it doesn't mean you're out with a rifle and trying to, shoot a deer or an elk. You're not a hunter. You're just looking for something. On the hunt for fun, on the hunt for a good time, on the hunt for some delicious food. He's back on the hunt in the U.S., though. This time he's going to stay in the United States and try to find some of the foods there that maybe some people haven't heard of or they probably won't get a chance to taste.
Exactly. So he's tried some really weird, bizarre, strange food around the world. So he's back in the USA. A lot of people think American food is bland and flavorless and things like that. But that just means you're only eating hamburgers and fried chicken. There's more to American food than those two things. So he's trying to find out different things, especially those food trucks. I understand food trucks.
They're good.
Yeah, I understand they're introducing the world to all sorts of new kinds of food. And the chefs there are experimenting with different things. So maybe Andrew Zimmern checks out some of those food trucks in Austin, Texas, or wherever. But in this case, he's back home in the USA now. And on TLC's Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern, Season 10, Zimmern explores American cuisine on some of the country's most iconic routes, including parts of Route 66 and Texas's Chisholm Trail. Okay, now, again, he's back in the USA exploring American cuisine. And we use the word cuisine just to talk about food. It's a fancy word for food. If you're talking about different kinds of cooking, I think it's very close to 料理 in Chinese, like 中华料理, Chinese cuisine, etc. Here he's trying American cuisine.
We often use it for food that's a little bit more expensive, too. I never call hamburgers cuisine. I'm having some fine cuisine. Anything like pizza, hamburgers, stuff like that, that's not really fine cuisine. Cuisine is usually served at a restaurant by a chef who has a lot of training. He's making something pretty wonderful. So he explores American cuisine on some of the country's most iconic routes. A route here is referring to roads in America. The most famous road, of course, is Route 66, which goes across the United States, kind of in the center of the United States. It was in a song. That's why people know this Route 66.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
Yeah, who sang that?
I don't know how it goes, though. I'd have to look it up. But actually, Route 66 kind of no longer exists. It's been totally taken over by the interstate highways, but it used to run from Chicago through Texas and Arizona and New Mexico.
See,
all
I
the way
know
out
it because
to California.
I'm from Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, but it's probably been replaced by Interstate 10 there through Arizona.
We have Interstate 10, too, yeah.
So it probably is,
I think you're right.
It's pretty much been replaced.
That's
Although
sad.
I think there are some historic routes that are still open.
Totally.
You can probably find some places. But in any case, he's checking out some of these iconic routes. That means it's kind of a route or a highway that has special significance or special meaning to Americans. So, yes, that's a famous highway in the USA, Route 66. Now, of course, we've got different interstates, like in California. Interstate 5 is kind of iconic in California, or Interstate 35 in Texas. It goes through Dallas and stuff like that. But in this case, it's Route 66. And also in Texas there, the Chisholm Trail, which I'm not familiar with because I ain't from Texas.
Well, I live in that area of the country. My dad's a Texan. I've never heard of it.
Okay.
So it's not that famous. I've been to Texas several times, driving, flying. I don't know this trail. So I feel like this is fun for me. Now I know about this Chisholm Trail. Kind of a weird word, Chisholm. We say it so fast, it sounds like we're just saying Chisholm. Chisholm Trail. On one episode, because as most of these TV programs are, it's a series, so there's one new episode every week. He makes his way from star-studded Palm Springs, California, to the bright lights of Las Vegas, which is located in the state of Nevada. If you make your way somewhere, guys, it just means you're going there. Maybe you're at a Chinese New Year dinner. You know how we have those weias here. And you win a prize. And the person that is giving away the prize is at the front with a microphone. And they could say, hey, come on, make your way up front to get your new TV, which is something you won. So make your way can be in a room to go from one place to another. But here we're talking about him going from one city to another. Palm Springs in California is a city that's located in a desert area of California, but it was settled by very wealthy people. The mafia, actually, they help settle the area too, but it's very expensive. They have fancy hotels. A lot of stars go there for vacation and to play golf.
That's why we're calling it star-studded Palm Springs. That means there are a lot of celebrities there, a lot of stars there. Just like you mentioned, Chinese New Year, sometimes they have special TV shows, and the shows will be star-studded. They will have all sorts of special guests who are famous celebrities talking and singing and stuff like that on these special shows for Chinese New Year. But in any case, Zimmerman, is making his way from Palm Springs to Las Vegas, the bright lights of the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, the gambling capital of the world. Probably not anymore. I think Macau is probably, has more to say about that. But in any case, his culinary journey begins at Melvin's, a legendary Palm Springs supper club, once frequented by the American singer Frank Sinatra. Yes, I did it my way.
Thank
Frank
you, Tom.
Sinatra, Old Blue Eyes, you know, Kim. When I was 17, it was a very good year, etc. You probably sung his songs at karaoke. But in any case, this is a legendary supper club or a legendary restaurant. Supper club is just a fancy term for restaurant. Legendary means it's in legend. It's been around for a long time. It's famous. And, of course, a lot of people who are famous have been there before. It's in Palm Springs. And, as I said, it was frequented by Frank Sinatra. To frequent as a verb just means to go there often.
A supper club, though, Tom, also has entertainment. So there would be a performer, maybe a group of performers. I've had some musical theater friends who've performed at supper clubs, or just a soloist. Maybe Frank Sinatra sang there at one time. Yeah, this is weird for a verb that you recognize more as an adverb or adjective. Frequent. He comes frequently. But that's not how it's used here. If you frequent a place, you actually go there. Maybe you're one of their customers. So Melvin's, this supper club, offers something that's kind of unusual. Tableside service. We're going to talk about what they do. But first, guys, we're going to spend a couple of minutes listening to our Chinese teacher.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 好，我们今天要来看的跟吃有关系，不过我们要吃的东西可能会有一点奇怪。好，这位主持人呢叫 Andrew Zimmern。大家有看过他吗？或看过他之前其他的节目吗？我们今天的内容就要介绍他带着大家在美国这里探索各种奇怪的料理。好，这个一开头就说 No one has a taste for the bizarre quite like Andrew Zimmern。 这个地方说大概没有人像他一样喜欢吃古怪的东西，has a taste for something。 不过这个 the bizarre 我们知道 the 是一个定冠词，它加一个形容词之后指的就是这种所有奇怪的东西了。那接下来下面就说了，他呢是到美国这里来探索，以前都是带着大家全世界走透透，而这一次在这个节目里，也就是 TLC 旅游生活频道里面的古怪食物这个第10季里面呢，他是回到美国。那我们就来看看他到底带大家吃什么。下一段里面就说到 On one episode 他就从加州这里往内华达州，然后到 Las Vegas。 这边 from A to B 其实这是一个很常见的 from to 从哪里到哪里，而它这个 journey 我们说它是 culinary journey， 因为我们知道 culinary 就是讲烹饪的，所以这一路可说是一个烹调的美食之旅。好，它从哪里开始呢？从 Melvin's 这是一间有名的餐厅，它是一个晚餐俱乐部。好，为什么它有名呢？这里有一个动词，我们看到了 frequent， 基本上我们常用 frequently 代表经常的，那副词的用法去掉 ly frequent 当然是一个形容词，表示经常，可是这边它是一个动词，当你用 frequent 当动词的时候，那表示去光顾，经常去光顾，所以说这里它指的是有一位大明星叫 Frank Sinatra， 大家也许不熟悉，不过这是一个有名的美国歌手，那他呢以前经常出入这里，所以动词呢 frequent。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, we're going to continue with our lesson now. We're talking about Andrew Zimmern. And this is Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern, and he's traveling around the USA. Where we left off, he was in Palm Springs, California, but he was heading to Las Vegas, Nevada, and he begins his journey at Melvin's, which is in Palm Springs. He was there, I guess, before he went to Las Vegas. Melvin's is a legendary supper club there. Frank Sinatra went there quite often, and it features tableside service. What's that? Well, the chef prepares your meal right next to you. You don't have the chefs back in the kitchen, and the food comes out later with a very spiffy waiter or waitress wearing a tuxedo or whatever. No, the food is prepared right there next to you, just like a Tiebansha restaurant here in Taiwan. Now, on the menu, Zimmern finds classic European-style dishes rarely served in restaurants these days. So if you go to restaurants in the United States, you'll probably find the same dishes over and over, baked chicken or meatloaf or things like that. But in this particular case, this restaurant has fancy European-style dishes that you're just not going to see on the menus of everyday restaurants.
For example, one that's called Steak Diane. That's the name of the dish. It was a favorite of a Hollywood actor named James Dean, who died quite young. He was very handsome. He was in two big movies that I can recall, A Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, which were huge movies in the States. You should look him up. Ladies, he was really, really cute. Well, he liked this dish that features pan-fried beef steak. So that steak is actually cooked in a pan with lots of butter, which sounds delicious. Shallots are in the family of onions. They're really, really small onions that are really quite tasty. We have shallots here in Taiwan. Mustard, parsley. Weird that mustard would go with a steak. That's what makes it very special and unique. Parsley in an herb that we use here as well, and pepper. And it's accompanied or comes along with assorted or various vegetables, roasted mushrooms, and a tomato topped with blue cheese, a cheese that has a lot of blue in it, and it's very strong.
Yeah, and of course, I think a lot of people in Taiwan would hate blue cheese, so you don't see it that often.
They do sell it here in the stores, but yeah, it's pretty strong.
It's kind of like molded cheese. Yeah. I think a lot of people would find it quite disgusting. I happen to like blue cheese myself. Yeah. But in any case, we're done with Palm Springs here, so making his way out of Palm Springs, Zimmern begins the lengthy drive across the Mojave Desert to Las Vegas. So yes, indeed, if you're in Palm Springs, you've got to drive from there across the Mojave Desert to Las Vegas. The Mojave Desert is considered one of the hottest places in the world.
Hot.
It's also below sea level at certain places too, so you better make sure your car has a full tank of gas and bring some drinking water with you or water for the radiator in case it overheats.
It always does.
And so be careful there, but he's got to drive to Las Vegas, and cruising along Highway 247 247, Zimmern makes a pit stop at Cafe 247 for some barbecued ribs and a banana milkshake before moving on to Peggy Sue's 50s Diner for a heavenly slice of strawberry rhubarb pie. We're talking about all sorts of different food here that he seems to have a stomach for. Gee, doesn't this guy get fat or pudgy?
He's a little fat, yeah.
I guess he eats a lot there, but in any case, he's on Highway 247 and he makes a pit stop. If you're watching auto races like NASCAR or the Indy 500 or whatever.
Formula One, yeah.
Formula One, yes. The cars do have to stop from time to time to get gasoline.
Change their tires.
Or change their tires, etc. So that is called a pit stop. They stop in the pit to have their car changed or have it have some maintenance done to their car. So we're using that in a slang sense here. It's just stopping at Cafe 247 for barbecued ribs, which are the ribs of a cow, I assume, or a pig maybe.
Both, yeah.
And a banana milkshake, which I think is probably very close to xiangjiao niuonai here in Taiwan. And then he goes to Peggy Sue's 50s Diner. Peggy Sue is a famous song by Buddy Holly from the 1950s. Peggy Sue, I love you with a love that's true. Or something like that. I'm not quite sure how it went, but in any case, it's a 50s diner, so it's kind of designed after icons from the 1950s in the United States, the cars and the music that was popular then. And he's having a heavenly slice. It's a slice of pie that is like it was made in heaven. It's strawberry and rhubarb. Rhubarb is a kind of plant that is common in American cooking, or at least not as common as it used to be.
It kind of looks like celery. A little bit, but it's a little pink and green.
I think pink and green, and yeah, you're right. That's right. Yeah. That's the color. We used to pick it from Mr. Sorum's backyard there. I don't think he liked us for that, but my grandmother, I think, used to make rhubarb pies, but I didn't like them. I liked the pumpkin pies and the apple pies better.
I think that rhubarb pie would be pretty popular here in Taiwan because it's not very sweet.
Okay.
I think that's the reason I don't like it. It's not sweet enough for me. So it's a popular flavor for older people, like my grandma's generation.
Rhubarb,
So yeah, that makes sense because she was she was younger in the 50s. So Zimmern then makes his way across a long stretch of barren desert, and he finally reaches Las Vegas at that point. Deserts, a desert part of the earth is just really dry. There's not a lot of rain. There aren't a lot of trees. There's a lot of cactus. The plural form of cactus is cacti, which I don't use because it's weird. Cactus, yeah. So I grew up in a desert. If it's barren, it just means there's not a lot of green there. It doesn't have a lot of trees. Grass, forget that stuff. There's a lot of dirt, sand, cactus, a lot of snakes, stuff like that. I have to say the Arizona desert where I'm from is pretty, but this part of the desert as you're going to Las Vegas is ugly. Yeah.
Not much there, not many plants, so it's very barren. There aren't very many barren areas here in Taiwan.
No, it's so green here.
But he gets to Las Vegas, and you might think he might be going to the Vegas Strip. So he's not headed for the Vegas Strip, the famed road line with world-famous resorts and casinos, however. He's on his way to some place called Aburiya Raku, a hidden Japanese izakaya restaurant. So you might think, yes, he's going to the Strip there to go to some resorts or some casinos. It's famed, which means it's famous, basically.
Right.
A resort is a place that has a place to stay, but it's also got recreational facilities, maybe swimming pools and a spa.
Tennis court.
And a golf course, maybe.
Sure.
That would be a resort. There are lots of resorts in Bali, for example, Bali Island. A casino is a place where you can gamble. There are a lot of casinos in Aoman, Macau. And he's going to this Japanese izakaya restaurant. Izakaya, I think the kanji for that is jujou. I hope I said that right. That's the kanji for izakaya, which is basically like a bar or a pub, basically. So I guess they serve food as well.
This famed is very similar to famous, as Tom said. They're interchangeable. You could just put that in. The famous road lined with world-famous resorts. So that'll give you a different word that you can use instead of using famous all the time. He's in search of delicious poached egg. If an egg is poached, it's half cooked. And sea urchin appetizer. An appetizer is before your main dish. Look up sea urchin to see what that looks like. It looks a little scary to eat, but I understand it's a delicacy and foodies love it. Along with that, he's got crispy pork ear and fried ice fish. He calls them Fries with eyes. We're not done with Zimmern. We're going to talk about him again, but right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
好，那我们继续来看。提到这个节目，这个美食节目非常的特别。那主持人呢，他带着大家到处尝鲜，只是吃的都是奇怪的食物。那接下来就说到了，在 Melvin's 这个餐厅里呢，它会有一个 tableside service， 也就是桌边服务。不过我们注意到它后面逗点，然后接着写 in which。我们知道介系词有时候会出现在一个冠带的前面，那要注意为什么要有这个介系词。像这里的 in， 当然是因为 which 指的是前面的 tableside service。那in the service 在这一个桌边服务里呢，它会做哪些事情？好，我们继续说明。所以 in 再加 which， 这个 in 的来源要往前看，跟它前面所代替的名词它的关系何在。好，继续往下，下面就说到了这个菜单里头啊，主持人他就看到了，哇，现在我们一般的餐厅里面很少见的这种欧式菜肴，然后他试了某一些料理。那这边我们再看一下，说到了经典的欧式料理 Classic European Style Dishes。 接下来 Rarely Served， 这个 Rarely Served 注意到基本上这个 served 就是一个过去分词。那为什么这个会有一个过去分词在这里呢？那要再往前看动词，动词是 find。 find 基本上我们知道它的句构上它是有 VOC 这样的句型，也就是说 find something 你后面有一个受词，受词接下来会有一个补语。那补语的位置上就是看你是要修饰这个受词跟它这个受词的关系。换句话说，我们这边提的是有欧式菜肴，而这个欧式菜肴是很少被供应的，在一般餐厅时下的一般餐厅很少见，很少被供应。所以说 served 这个补语位置上的 serve 是过去分词，因为它是谈的是菜肴被供应。好，接下来下面我们继续来看当然 Zimmer 他不是只待在一家餐厅，他呢继续往下，他到了 Las Vegas， 然后呢沿着247号公路，然后在这里有一家 cafe， 他停了下来，还享用了这边的烤乐排，享用这边的香蕉奶昔等等等。然后我们再提到说他吃完之后又往哪里出发，看到这个地方is not headed for the Vegas trip。 好了，他不是往这里，并非要往赌城大道去。Be headed for 这个意思是表示前往哪个地方。好，我们今天的讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
Okay, everybody, that brings us to the end of today's lesson, but please join us again next time when we continue talking about Tasting America with Andrew Zimmern. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye.